Good evening, everybody. I have one quick question for you. Actually, two. How many of you, show of hands, enjoy playing basketball?
Me!
How many of you like to score points?
Me!
Well, my name is Greg Davis. I have taught youth sports for over the last 12 years. I played sports all through growing up and all into college as well. And I have 5 children in addition to that. So I've taught a lot of things in my life so far. But one of the things I want to talk about tonight is the fundamentals of shooting mechanics. You might ask, well, why do I need to teach the fundamentals of shooting? What importance does it have? And don't we have to just push it up there? Can't we just throw the basketball up there and hope it goes in?
Yeah!
Actually, one of the premier shooting coaches of the NBA, his name is Mr. Holt. He actually says that 99.9% of kids today can't shoot, which means to say that they don't shoot well. They haven't been taught the fundamental components to shooting. But that's what I'm going to cover today. There's going to be 6 points I'm going to cover. We're going to cover sight. We're going to cover balance, hand position, right? Your elbow alignment, your shooting motion, and your follow through. Those are the 6 elements we're going to cover on this lecture. The first thing we're going to discuss is your sight, what you focus on. It's very critical, and one of the things that I try to teach is always focus on the back of the rim, because what you focus on is what your body's going to go toward. If I'm focusing in this direction, but I'm shooting this way, it makes it very difficult to make the shot. But if I'm turned and I'm also looking and focusing at where I'm shooting, then my body follows suit. So what you focus on with your eyes is very important. Your hand placement, or actually we'll start with the balance. Balance is basically having a good stance. You know, your legs are about shoulder width apart. You've got a good firm base, somewhere to launch from. Somewhere that if you get bumped, you can still be in control. The third thing that is a key component to shooting well is your hand placement. You always want to put the hand behind the ball. You see that? Yeah. And your non-shooting hand will be beside the ball. If you're a left-handed shooter, it's the other way. But most shooters are right-handed. So it's a hand behind the ball and a support hand to the side. One of the things you want to be careful of is when you're shooting that you don't push with this hand, because you'll knock the projection of your shot off. You always push with your shooting hand, and this one is just to support you. Another part that is very critical to shooting mechanics is your elbow alignment. There's 2 things about your elbow alignment that you want to keep in mind. One is that you always want to maintain a 90-degree turn there, or an L, which puts the ball right about your belly, doesn't it? Puts the ball right there. Now, if I were to have the ball up here, that would make a V. That's too tight. That's poor mechanics. You want to start with an L, and you want to keep the second thing about that, you want to keep your elbow tucked. So, as you're shooting, you start from the belly, and your arm remains in an L shape as you're shooting. Now, this takes us to the next item. The next part of the mechanics is your shooting motion. So we're here at the belly, and on our shooting motion, we're coming up all in a fluid motion. There's a rhythm to shooting. You want to get that rhythm down, and you get that rhythm down through repetition. Another thing is the final thing that you want to focus on when you're shooting is your follow through. So you've got your motion, you're starting from the belly, you go to shoot, and you want to make sure you follow through. Oftentimes your finger points toward the goal when you've completed the shot. Right. Now, okay, just remember, the 6 things that you need to focus on when you're shooting is your sight, what you focus on, right, your sight. Balance, making sure you have your legs under you. Your hand positioning, hands on the right part of the ball, shooting hand behind the ball. Your elbow position, you want an L, and your elbow tucked so that when you come up, you're in line with the goal. Your motion, and your follow through. Those are the 6 things. So if you practice these mechanics someday, when you have the opportunity to make that game-winning shot at the end of the game, when there's just seconds left, if you've practiced your mechanics enough, you'll have a good chance of being the game hero. Thank you.